It's now time for the press review. Solange Mougin joins me on the set now today to take a look at what the papers have been saying. Lots of focus first on the American press. That is widely debating the treatment of Donald Trump's former national security advisor, Michael Flynn, at what was expected to be a sentencing hearing over charges that he lied to the FBI.
Yeah, Michael Flynn went into this hearing expecting a light sentence and no jail time. But the judge rebuked him for, quote, arguably selling out his country. Harsh words that caused him to ask for a postponing of the sentencing. Now, this moment in court is creating a lot of debate in the American press. Some papers are lauding it, and others are saying that the judge went too far. First, for the praise. The Atlantic says the judge, Emmett Sullivan, did well in scolding Flynn and his lawyers, especially in regard to their argument that he was tricked into lying to the FBI, an argument that the Atlantic says was a tactical mistake. The judge's admission that he was disgusted by it proves this, according to the site, that politically effective arguments or political spin doesn't hold up in court.
And what about on the other side, criticism from the press?
Yeah, the Wall Street Journal is calling the court hearing a fiasco. One that the paper says delved into a spectacle of misinformation. Here the paper is referring to the judge's use of the word treason, a charge that the Mueller team had to remind Judge Sullivan is not being considered for Michael Flynn. Now the judge, and I quote, lost his cool, berated a defendant, and spread false information, end quote. Now, the debate of whether Flynn is being treated fairly or not by the court is something that could be summed up by a cartoon from The Week. You have Flynn hanging upside down, being shaken down, and you have both the FBI and James Comey, the former FBI head, saying, I'd never have gotten away with this if Obama was around.
Now, the New York Times, meanwhile, is saying that there's nothing political in the judge's treatment of Flynn.
Yeah, in an article entitled Good Luck in Court, Mr. Trump, the Times gets at why we should actually care about this. That this story goes beyond the fact that a Trump advisor just lied. For the Times' editorial board, the judge's rebuke is a reminder that no one should be above the law, even the president, and that political spin can only go so far, especially in the face of an independent judiciary.
All right, let's head now to Madagascar, a country that's having its runoff presidential election today, where two former presidents, bitter rivals, are facing off.
Yeah, the Daily Madagascar Express is saying that today's vote is a crucial one for the nation's 10 million voters. But the paper regrets what they say was an inconclusive campaign that didn't actually clarify the candidates' positions on key issues. The paper has even called voters to flip a coin because sometimes things that are left to chance actually work out. An ambivalence that can be clarified in an article perhaps by the French Christian paper La Croix. It explains that the two candidates see each other as arch enemies, but the image that they try to project and their policies are actually quite similar, and they are deeply seated in religion. Both, for example, launched their campaigns with religious masses.
All right, let's go now to Pakistan, where earlier this month, the Prime Minister launched a plan to bring poverty down, or try to bring poverty down, by giving people laying hens to raise.
Yeah, the Washington Post explains that this scheme of giving out chickens is actually creating a lot of debate of whether or not it will work to create a critical difference in the health and the livelihoods of millions of poor people in Pakistan. The Post says that for poverty to really change, the country's political and business elites need to be revamped, but that urbanites like the idea because it reminds them of a bygone, more rural life, and that in the end, the hen and egg scheme may end up helping. But in the end, the hen and egg scheme may end up helping the poor in rural areas. But for the Pakistani English paper, The Dawn, the economics do not add up. They say it puts an added burden on women who will have to care for the animals as well as their children. And they say the move wasn't even fully tested in Pakistan in pilot programs. Now, the scheme may not have actually been a good idea for Imran Khan's image either. He's been increasingly teased online for it, like here in a drawing. He's drawn as KFC or Khan's Farm chicken instead of Kentucky Fried Chicken. Weeks after the announcement, the chicken prime minister theme is actually stuck regardless of the topic. For example, in a completely unrelated foreign policy article from the Pakistani Friday Times, you have Khan's chariot being pulled by a rooster.
Solange, just to wrap up now, we're going to stick with the animal theme. Imran Khan isn't the only world leader being equated with an animal.
No, The Guardian tells us that Donald Trump is now not only the name of the U.S. president, but it's the name of an amphibian that likes to bury its head in the sand. Someone paid $25,000 at an auction for charity to name the newly discovered species, which is a worm-like amphibian that belongs to the Sicilian species. Now, Sicilian is a word taken from Latin. It means blindness. So to call attention to the president's blindness in regard to climate change, the lucky bidder named the amphibian Dermophis Donald Trump.
Solange, thank you for that. Solange Mjandar with that look at the papers today. Thanks to you.